Good morning, my friends. It is Thursday, which means it's my favorite day of the week because I get to hang out with you guys. I am super excited about our conversation today, but I did just want to start by asking you guys one super weird question. We're going to go completely off topic for a second. This is just for my own interest. So I have this person who I love on YouTube. Her name is Bailey Sarian. You guys might know her. If you do, let me know by be like, yes, we know her, or like, yes, I love her in the comments or the live chat, because I want to see if any of us would actually be friends like in the real world and if we have the same weird interest. Anyways, she's one of my favorite YouTubers, and she has this saying at the beginning of all of her videos that she drops on Mondays. I can't really say it because it does have the M word in it, about like, you know what I mean? Okay, anyway, so it's like blank mystery and makeup Monday. And she'll say, like, welcome to blah, blah, blah. Shana sha, shana sha, shana sha, shana sha. And she does this weird little like song. And I was just thinking this morning before I jumped on here today with you guys that I wonder if you guys are doing the exact same thing that I do every time I watch her video when you guys come here on Thursdays. So anytime a new video goes live for her, I literally catch myself saying the words to her intro, to her opening line, because I have watched probably over 100 of her videos. So I was just wondering, while I was listening to her video earlier this morning, I was like, I wonder how many of my people on Thursdays say something like, good morning, friends. It is Thursday, which means it's my favorite day of the week because I get to hang out with you guys, because I literally say that every single time. And I never thought about it until today that you guys might be doing the exact same thing that I do in my own life on my own consumption time. Anyways, if that's you and you are the one who is like, oh yeah, I say that all the time, or if I were to stop saying it, you would be like, hey, where's the intro? Because that's also what I did with Bailey Sarian when she removed her intro. It made me very like frustrated because I was so used to, my brain was so used to that routine. Anyways, totally random. Totally do not need to give me any feedback on that. But I was just wondering if any of you guys, every single time you join this, are expecting that sentence. Because if so, I'm doing my job, because that's exactly what I say every time. With that said, I digress. I hope you guys are excited about today because I have a lot of really, really cool things that just launched on Canva over the past, I think, 60 to 90 days. It's been a little while since we did one of these Canva updates conversations together. So we're going to go over, I think there is maybe 6 or 7 of them that are brand new. And if you guys have never been a part of one of our Canva conversations, usually what I'll do is share my screen and actually pull up Canva itself. So instead of just telling you what it is, I'm actually going to show you how it is as well. So I'm going to show you basically this is what we are trying to do and here is the outcome. But then I'm also going to go behind the scenes in my own Canva account and show you exactly how to do that click by click, because a lot of people told me last time that we met about Canva that they loved the ability to be able to see where my mouse goes and which things they need to click or what things they need to be typing in order to make it match what I put on the screen. So that will be happening today. Okay. Next little thing I want to go over with you guys very quickly is we just launched our fifth or sixth Trends in the Wild series on Tuesday, so 2 days ago. Something that you guys have asked for time and time again, and actually ended up asking me. I used to do it every quarter, and now people are wanting it every 6 weeks. So here is your first one for the year, for the first 6 weeks of 2026, and we're going to have it every 6 weeks from now. If you're not familiar with our Trends in the Wild series, it basically is where I go out physically into stores for you to see if I can spot trends before they ever hit Etsy. And then I go back into Pinterest, Amazon, and Etsy to confirm or deny if those trends are popping off in other places as well. So if that's something you're interested in, go back 2 days into this channel and you'll be able to find that. And then my last little piece of housekeeping for today. Yes, someone said Hobby Lobby. Yes, we do Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Target. All of those are usually included in Trends in the Wild. My last little piece of housekeeping for today, though, is we also are in the process, I believe, starting next Tuesday. It should be next week. I'm trying to remember my calendar, but starting next week, I'm going to be doing like a 4 to 5 part print on demand series. So next week, I believe, again, don't quote me, but I think it's next Tuesday, we are going to talk about like how to, what was it? shoot, now I don't forgot what hold on. I have something important to tell you and now I can't remember the flipping name of it. Hold on one second. So the week 2, by the way, I know week 2, week 1, I can't for the life of me think of. But week 2 is going to be how to drive external marketing to your store. Week 1 is print on demand still worth it in 2026? Let's talk about it. And we're going to walk all the way through that. And then I'm also going to be talking about how to start a print on demand store with just $29 this year. And then I'm also going to build a POD product suite with you guys. So it's going to be like not live, but it's going to be live design on a regular video. So that's going to stretch us for the next like 5 to 6 weeks in a fully print on demand built series. So I hope all of that is something that you're interested in. If not, please let me know now before I make hours worth of content. But I really do think it's something that's going to be really beneficial for you guys because I'm kind of like peeling back the layers of what actually print on demand is, how to actually make it work for you, how to guarantee that it's going to bring you success rather than just going on Etsy, copying a bunch of designs and popping them up there and hoping for the best. So I'm really excited to go through that because we've never done a full-blown series like this. So like I mentioned, please stay tuned. That is coming live next Tuesday. It looks like a bunch of you guys are saying, yes, you're very interested in that. So I'm excited to drop them starting next week. With that said, I think it's time to get into Canva. As always, though, guys, if it's your first time being here, if you've been here a million times, please feel free to drop any questions that you guys might have in the live chat while we're having this conversation today. I am here with you guys live, so you can ask anything, and then I'll be able to get back into the live chat and answer them for you. What I usually like to do, again, if you're new here, is I like to do one of the things, like show you one of the features, and then I'll come back to the comment section / the live chat, and I will see if there's any questions or thoughts about that. Or if you have anything else you'd like to talk about that's related to the feature we're talking about, right? So instead of you just like waiting to get your question answered until the very end, I'm going to pop back and forth throughout the conversation. Okay. So with that said, oh my God, someone just said, someone said, good morning. Hi, Tina. They asked, where's Lily? I wish I could bring her in here, but this is going to sound so weird. Lily, by the way, is my husky, and I brought her into a couple of videos and people were like, yes, we want more of her. However, if you have a husky or a dog that has a weird personality, you'll understand this next statement. My dog is scared of floors, like the ground we step on. So if there's not a rug leading her up to my desk, she will freak out and start screaming like a husky. She's like, nah, dog, I don't do that. I don't go on linoleum. I don't go on vinyl. She's way too prissy for that. So unfortunately, she's not in here with me right now because she would hate me if I tried to drag her in here. But stay tuned. I'm going to try to get her in the next couple of videos and hopefully some live streams. So with that said, let me go ahead and share my screen real fast and we'll get into the fun stuff. Tina said, I get it. All right, let's go. So the first one that I wanted to talk about today is called starred fonts. Now, this one is not that big of a deal, to be honest. It's not something that is going to be severely life-changing by any means. However, it is going to be something that can be super quick for you. It's going to save you a little bit of time, and especially if we're trying to get a bunch of listings out there or build a bunch of designs at scale, time-saving hacks are always going to be beneficial. So starred fonts are something that I wanted to bring up today. It's kind of new. I think it maybe dropped in like November, December or so. But it's just something that like I noticed in my own fonts and I was like, oh, that could be like really helpful for y'all. Wanted to bring it up. Where I believe this could be helpful is one of two things. And by the way, this is not only helpful for just print on demand sellers. This could be for my social media sellers like myself. This could be for service-based sellers if you're making logos or marketing materials for your clients. And of course, this could also be really helpful for digital product sellers if you like to have consistency across the board and cohesiveness across your listings as it relates to typography. So that's number one. It could help all of those people. But I want you to also think about the Canva font that you're using. You can star them, which I'll show you in a second, but you can star each of those fonts if you want them to be at the top, so you don't got to scroll for them every time. Sometimes they're going to be in like your recently used section on your fonts or your text area. So like on the left-hand side, you click on text, it'll show you like, I think your last 3 to 5 maybe fonts that you might have used in the past. However, let's say you haven't used this font in a while, but you want to use it again, that's where starred fonts can kind of come in here. The second piece to this is, let's say you go onto Creative Fabrica or Adobe or something of the sort, and you want to purchase a specific font. So it's not Canva. It is like completely unrelated, and you download or buy and download the text file. Then you upload it into Canva, which is a really simple process, by the way. If you guys want me to show you how to do that, let me know. I didn't put that in today, but if you don't know how, let me know. Anyway, so we're going to upload it into Canva. And then if you use other things with Canva, they're more than likely going to promote those the next time you come into your document. So you can easily star the ones that you purchased or downloaded from a site that is your font and be able to access them very quickly. So just like to tell you what it is before I show you how to do it. So what we're going to do, in order to find the starred fonts section or feature itself, is strictly click on whatever you want to do. Or you can always come over here and click text. It's completely up to you. Those are two ways to get to the exact same answer. But let's say I wanted to change this to be something that is a little bit more applicable to my brand. So we can do this. We're going to go ahead and click font up here. Right now, you can see it's just easily Canva Sans, which is kind of like their default one they usually choose, is like Arimo and Canva Sans, I think, are the two they choose. So we can click on this. And then let's see. It depends on what you want to do, of course. But what I said a second ago was we're going to have recent right here. So recently used. We're also going to have recommended fonts. I don't know why those even exist, to be honest. Let me see. There is no reason. Okay. So hold on. Let me go back. Where we go. There we go. So we can have recently used here. We're going to have recommended fonts here. We're going to have your brand fonts here as well. So as you can see, I have a couple of different brand kits that all have their own individual fonts and colors and logos. And then you're also going to see your uploaded fonts here. So those kinds of things are going to be, like I said earlier, if you download or purchase a font text file, and then you upload it here. So you can see I have one of those. But then you're also going to see popular ones, right? So how to star one that you like. Let's say I really like I think it's called Brittany. There we go. So Brittany, I really like the Brittany font for some reason. I don't know. It just tickles something inside of me. So I like the Brittany font. So instead of just like attaching this to be Brittany, that's really cool. What we can also do, let me go back real fast. What we can actually do is click this little 3-dot button over here, very simply, and literally click star font. So let me go ahead and do that, and you're going to see that it's starred. The other thing I wanted to really quickly show you was, let's say we did want this one to be Brittany. So we changed from Canva Sans to Brittany. We can also very easily click change all here. And that is going to change it all the way across your entire document, your entire file. And of course, you can see my subtext was also Canva Sans. This was just Canva Sans bolded. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend having the exact same kind of illegible font all the way across. But just wanted to show you that that was also an option, is to use that apply to all kind of function there. So let's go back to fonts real fast. Go to text. Nope, let's just do this. I'll make it easier. Go to Brittany and get out of here. Hello? What is going on? Leave me alone, Lord. All right. So now we're going to see go back. There we go. All right. So now you're going to have your starred fonts right here at the top. So before, it started with document, recommended, recently used, uploads, and your brand kits. But now you're going to see those starred fonts right here at the top. So again, nothing super, super crazy, but it's something that, especially if you do purchase something and you don't want to have to scroll, it's going to be right there for you as a very, very easy thing to find. So if that makes sense, let me know. If you have any questions, or if it doesn't make sense, let me know. It looks like a couple people are asking for how to upload a font into Canva. So I can easily, hopefully, show you guys that real fast. 1 second. I say hopefully only because I got to find the text font that I have, first of all. All right. So if we wanted to upload, this is obviously a little bit different than what we had on the agenda today, but just so you can also see this while we're here. If you wanted to upload a font, what we could easily do is click on this, and then you can come down to do uploaded fonts, and then you'll see it right here, right? However, if you don't see that on your page because you haven't uploaded one yet, you can go to uploads, and then you should be able to do, they switched this on me recently. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. Okay. That's weird. So sorry, guys. It actually moved itself recently. So I am not able to find it as fast as I would have hoped. However, what we could easily do is I'm going to go back to Canva. I'm going to share this tab over here. All right. So the other way that we could do it, I was hoping that I could show you guys inside the document, but I just wasn't able to find it fast enough. And I want to make sure that we can get the other things as well. So the other way we can easily do this is by simply going to the Canva homepage. And then you can come over here to brand and do brand kit, click fonts. And then let's see, manage uploaded fonts right here at the bottom. And what I want to say here real fast is a quick caveat. I am not 100% sure because I've always had a pro subscription to Canva if this is only for pro people. I'm going to just be fully transparent there that I'm not sure if you can upload fonts with a free Canva subscription. But this is the way that I like to find it kind of backwards. So we can come in here and go to manage uploaded fonts, and you'll see I have a lot in here, obviously, because I'm using fonts from my clients, for example. And then you can simply just click add new under whichever brand kit you want. So if you wanted to build a brand kit, all you have to do is create new. And then this could be something that, like, let's say your brand for marketing, for example. So maybe it's like how you use, let's just say Josephine Sands is what I just saw a second ago. Josephine something. Hold on. What was it? Yeah, Josephine Sands. So let's say that is all of these put together are your individual business marketing fonts. You can upload those into your brand. And you can also start uploading all of the other fonts that you might have purchased from a certain location or downloaded from Adobe or wherever you're getting your fonts and your typography. You can also add them in here as well. Or you can actually have what's not even a brand kit, of course. You can actually just simply put it in here as, you can call it like, let's just say fonts for whatever, like that particular niche, that particular design style. And then that's going to be very easily added to, if I come back over here, it's going to be very easily added to the section right here under uploaded fonts. So you might see them all line up here, or you also might be able to drop down, search for the brand kit. And like I said a second ago, your brand kit could simply be as easy as fonts for moms, fonts for pets, like whatever the niche is, or fonts for coquette aesthetic. And then you could build out a bunch of these different brand kits, even though we know they're not brand necessarily. And then all of your different color styles, all of your different elements and icons, like those can all actually be built on top of your fonts in that section, which is going to be making your designs a lot easier as well. So while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and show you what that means. So if we go back real fast, let's go ahead and click. One second. All right. So let's just say we're going to create a new brand kit. And I'm actually just going to go with the coquette aesthetic simply because it was on my brain. So let's just say we call the brand kit that. So what it's going to allow you to do is either, obviously, you can attach your website here. In this case, we're not doing that because we're just trying to build an aesthetic of elements, fonts and such around it. But in this quote unquote brand kit, you're going to have the ability to do logos, colors, fonts, voice, charts, icons, graphics, photos. And then, of course, if you want to add a new category, in this case, we won't. But what I wanted to bring up here was, let's say colors. And we found, if we just go, I'm just going to very quickly do this. I'm going so off topic right now, guys, but I hope this is still a beneficial hack you guys can use. If you can't tell, I was getting my nails done because that's all of my Pinterest right now is nails and trends in the wild. All right. So let's just say coquette color palette, hex codes on Pinterest. And that's going to kind of give me something that would work in that space. So I'm kind of liking these, Let's just say we go with this one. So EDCFD3 is going to be the first one. Let me share this other tab. Oh, not that one. Sorry. Share this other tab. So I forgot it already. EDCFE3, I think. There we go. So there's the first one. And then we can add another one. And it's going to be E3D5CA, E3D5CA. And let's just do one more. D9A7A4, D9A7A4. So those are all of the, deleted the other one. Hold on. Let's make sure we have 3. E5A8B1. E5A8B1. There we go. All right, so now we've gotten 3 colors that potentially do well with the coquette aesthetic, simply because we very simply went and grabbed those hex codes over from Pinterest. So now we have our colors. Then we can have our fonts over here. So either, like I mentioned a second ago, you can choose a font that is related to what they actually have here on Canva, or again, you can come over here and upload a font or a font pairing that is going to make sense, or of course add a couple of different fonts that you want to use in the coquette space. For photos, if you wanted to add brand assets here, you could. So maybe there was like some photos of bows that you liked. Let me see what it lets you do. You could upload them or link a folder. It looks like it won't let you select from the Canva photos, but that's fine because we can do the exact same thing over here for graphics. So we can choose some graphics from Canva and add them over here. So like a bows, or we're going to go over a couple little things that's like a martini that looks like coquette. So any of those different graphics can be added in here. And then icons exactly the same as well. So just wanted to show you guys again another little life hack. If you are creating designs at scale for maybe multiple different niches or multiple different products under the same design style or aesthetic, can all be done by simply building a brand kit around that aesthetic. So again, I went completely off topic, but I hope that makes sense. If you guys ever need any or ever have any questions on those, let me know. It says I'm a pro now. Awesome. Perfect. Helpful, super helpful using Pinterest for hex codes. Girl, that's what I do every single time. Anytime, you can do one of two things. I'm going to show you another little life hack. But anytime someone, like, cause I do a bunch of graphic design for clients or like logos and such. So if I don't know, let me delete this. If I don't know what their, thing looks like, what it actually is, or if they say I want to match this aesthetic, I go straight to Pinterest. But if they have a logo, which let's just find one real fast, and we want it to be a photo. Of course, this is a bad example because it just says logo over and over again, but here's a good example. Okay, so if I worked with Canva, which would be awesome, if you guys are hiring, feel free to call me. But if I was working with Canva and I'm like, what in the heck is this? What is their colors? It's like this ombre kind of thing. You can always come into Canva as long as it's an image that has editable colors. Or not even, you don't even have to have that. You just go to the color thing right here, go to document colors and click the plus button. And then there's this little guy right here that I like to call the eyedropper tool. That's usually what it's called in, it's either color picker or eyedropper in the graphic design space. So you'll just do this and then you'll just hover over wherever you want to figure out the color. So let's say I want this one. And then it's going to give you the hex code right there. So that's like my 2 life hacks that I use for picking those hex codes, is going straight into Pinterest and just typing in the aesthetic that I want to match. Or let's just say summer 2026 color palette. That's exactly what I do when I'm doing a Trends in the Wild thing, because I want to see, does what I see in the stores match what I'm seeing that Pinterest is proclaiming to potentially be, or projecting to potentially be, a trend. So not only do I use Pinterest for those things, but also I can use the color picker if I already have an icon or a logo of sorts and they don't give me the rest of their brand kit for some reason. I can easily come in here and do that as well. And the way you guys can also do this, which we're going to talk about copying style on design in a second, which is probably one of my favorite things that they have now. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But if you guys also want to, like, you have this icon that you like, if you like this element on Canva and you want to have that same color of that element in your font, for example, or the text that's going to be on that design, the color picker is going to be an awesome tool for that as well. Cool. I just gave you 3 things in one, so I hope that was beneficial. Completely unrelated to starred fonts, but that is 3 to 4. I think we went over starred fonts, how to upload a font, how to make a brand kit, and how to get hex colors today. So if you guys enjoyed that, please let me know by dropping a yes in the live chat, and we'll move on to the next one. So the next thing is going to be the adjustment of the locked position feature. I'm really, really excited about this one because this is something that I think probably should have been a thing forever. So the locked position feature, as you guys probably are well aware of, you lock the element, you lock the letter, you lock the text box, whatever it is. And then that allows you to click on a couple other things and move them all around. And then your baby's still going to stay right there locked. However, this is the change that I'm very excited about. The locked position feature means that baby was freaking locked. You couldn't do anything with it before. So now we have the ability to lock it while also allowing us to adjust it if necessary. Also, this is a photo of me and my sister. I'm going to give you guys a weird little story that happened last year. So my sister calls me, I think in November of 25. And she's like, what are you doing for mom and dad for Christmas this year? I was like, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm one of those last minute gift givers or gift buyers at least. And she's like, would you be interested in doing a calendar for our parents? So it's like every month of the year, we're doing something crazy that's related to that particular month. As you can probably imagine, this one was for the month of October, and we had a freaking blast doing this. I flew down to Florida because she lives in Orlando, flew down to Florida, spent like 8 freaking hours going all around the city and all around Disney and such, and taking photos for this calendar. And what's funny is I'm 33 and my sister's 26. So it's like, it's not that we're not kids, like we're grown adults. And we were like, this is going to be so fun. They're going to love it. Turns out they did, and we had a blast doing it too. So if you see a bunch of random photos of me and my sister in today's training, now you're having a little context of what it is. So locked position. Let's go ahead and show you what I mean. Locked position before, like I said, would lock this baby right here, and then we couldn't move it. We couldn't adjust it. It would kind of just sit as is. Now, if we click these little 3 dots, which is pretty much the answer to everything we're doing today, it's in the 3 dots. But if we go ahead and do that and we go to lock, you're going to be able to see, let's see. Oh no, where did it go? There we go. Sorry, I was pushing the wrong button. So if you go ahead and click, hold on, let me go back because I messed up and I don't want to confuse you guys. So lock and lock position only. This used to allow us to kind of just keep it where it is and not be able to do anything. But now when we click lock position only, you can still see the edit button up here. You can still see background remover, flip, rotation, etc. So it's going to lock where it is. As you can see, I am trying my darndest and it's not moving, but we can still do a bunch of other stuff to it. And from my knowledge, this was not something that I could ever do before because it used to piss me off when I would be making this beautiful, super eccentric and detailed design. And I needed to move one little thing, but I needed to not let the other things move. But I also needed to maybe adjust the color on them, or I wanted to maybe tilt one a little bit to the left, but I also did not want him to move from where he was. This is going to be a huge, huge saver for that. So if I'm in here, for example, let's say I want to do background remover. My position is still going to be locked, but now I have the ability, like I said, to do all of the normal editing things that you would do without being locked. So again, super small, nothing crazy, but just wanted to let you guys know that that change was made. And it was so, so helpful for me whenever I found it, because when you're doing a design like, hold on one second. Let me share my other screen just to show you where I'm going with this. Homepage. There we go. So when you're doing a design like this, hopefully you guys are looking. Yes, perfect. So let's say we're on templates and we want to do like t-shirt. And we're under templates, right? So we have these. Let me see if this is a really good example. So let's say we like this, which I do, by the way. This is so freaking cute, guys. This is something that you should all make immediately, because obviously Valentine's Day is this weekend, so we're a little bit behind. But this is something that would be so, so cute for so many different like niches. You could do this for the book niche. You could do this for the gardening niche. You could do this for the cooking niche. You could do this for boy moms, grandmas. This little design, this is what I meant earlier by being able to scale a design faster. This could be an example of how we could do that. The good news is it's also in Espanol. So if you are in that space, by all means, you can also do this exact same thing there. But let's talk about now what I meant by the locked design. So let's say I needed this guy to be locked because I'm going to move a bunch of other things around it, and I need this checkered situation to be locked. We're going to do the same as always. Go to, oh, it's not going to let me, I don't think. Of course, the template is not going to work in my favor. I can't show you guys what I want to show you. Okay, so unfortunately, it looks like because this is a t-shirt design itself template, I can't use it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to cheat the system. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to create my own freaking design because I'm trying to prove a point and they're making it difficult. I'm just going to make it an Instagram post for right now. Sorry, my screen is going back and forth a lot, guys. But now I'm going to copy this and paste this into here. So now I have just the design, right? So theoretically speaking, I should be able to come in and now lock this baby as I want to. No, I can't. That is so frustrating. I think it's simply because it was a template. I was just trying to prove a point, guys, that if you have a big design with a lot of pieces to it, so let's just, for example, go to layers. If you got all these different layers in a design, which is not infrequent or irregular for us to assume we might have. There's a bunch of different things here, right? So if you're making a design like this, the reason I was bringing up the locked position is because you could, if you made it yourself, I guess the template doesn't want to work, but if you were to lock the position of this, it would stay exactly where it is while you're editing all of these other different layers. But you could still change the color of it, change the opacity of it, things that we weren't able to do before. So I hope that makes sense. That was so frustrating. All right, let's move on to number 2 because that just made me look dumb as hell. All right, hold on. Here we go. Let's get out of here. Beautiful. All right. Numero tres. My favorite thing that we're going to talk about all freaking day today probably is the style brush AI matching. So if you guys are not familiar with the style brush, it's something that's been around for a very long time. I'll show you actually real fast on my screen. So it's this guy right here. So you guys have seen copy style probably 1,000 times before, and maybe you didn't even know what it was. So today, first of all, I'm going to show you how it is helpful to you, but also the differences that the AI system inside of Canva has given us to be able to, again, go faster, make designs quicker, whatever. So I have these things. I mentioned earlier we were going to talk about like a coquette, like martini glass. So let's say this is like a Cosmo of sorts. This is, I guess, a loaf of bread. I don't know. This is a little croissant, right? So we're going to have these 3 things, and they all are similar. They follow the same design style or aesthetic. It's kind of like, first of all, coquette. Secondarily, though, it is watercolor. So it's like very light. It's very pastel. It's very airy. And then we got this guy over here. So we got our coffee, and we're like, this looks very cartoonish. This does not at all match the aesthetic of these, but I really like the concept of the coffee and the bow applying to the rest of my design. So let's say that these things are other elements that I'm using in my design. I really like this one, but it looks dumb. Now we have the ability to make that change right here in Canva. So let's go into part 2. So we're going to, and again, I'm going to show you this in real time, but let me zoom in so you can see this. So we're going to click the style button, and we're going to click copy art style like usual. But again, this is now AI related. So now we have the ability to copy one of these and turn it in using AI to the exact same aesthetic. So before I show you guys how, I want to show you what it did. So this is what it turned into by the end of my little adventure I was on. So I'm going to show you exactly how I went from this guy to this, matching my exact aesthetic in the matter of seconds. So let's go back over here for a sec. So we're on this page, and we want this guy to match this one, or this one, or this one. Doesn't matter, right? So what we're going to do is click on the element that you want to copy the style of. And then we're going to come up here and click copy style, very simply. Now you're going to see copy art style or copy basic. I do want to go ahead and copy art. And you'll see, by the way, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like this little tiny martini glass that is following me around now because I am currently on the copy art style, right? So now what I want to do is go ahead and click on the thing that I want to take the original art style. The AI system is now going to take that art style and apply it to my other design or my other element. So we're going to click that, and you're going to see the Canva AI get to work. It's going to be this little like fun, flowing little ombre situation going on just kind of to match their their designs or their logo and branding. So let's give it a few seconds. It's going to look a little bit different, of course, than when I originally did it because I used the croissant for the other one that I showed you guys. So now I'm using the strawberry cosmopolitan kind of style. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but hopefully it looks very similar to the other three. As you can see, it's taking a little bit of time. So just be mindful that this is, yes, it's going to be a huge life hack and it's going to save you a ton of time, even if we got to wait on the AI a little bit to kind of catch up. So let's wait for this one. Let me take a swig of my water real fast. And if you guys are liking this, let me know. Oh my God, it's almost identical. Hold on. Let me look at it. Let's look at them side by side. I'm just interested. That's like very close to almost exactly what it was before. What's kind of funny is this looks like a bamboo shoot. This looks like a straw, whatever. Nonetheless, so you can see it's just a little bit darker over here. This one's a little bit lighter, but it's really, really, really similar to the original one, which is great because that means that oh shoot, we're on the wrong page. There we go. That's great because that means that all three of these are extremely similar. And that's why this one popped out super similar on two different AI generations. So if that is something that is interesting to you, please let me know in the live chat. This is something that I will literally apply until the cows come home because I think it's so important for me being able to find actual elements that I like that match with my design rather than having to search and search and search some more. Like if you find something you like, let's just say palm tree, for example. So like, let's say you're doing like a coquette inspired Florida theme, right? If I click on this does not at all match my stuff. Like it literally does not make sense for what I'm trying to do. But at any time I could, oh wait, I copied the wrong thing. Don't copy, by the way, the one that you're trying to fix because I just did that unintentionally. So you would copy the one you're trying to copy and recreate. And then you can do the exact same thing to our little palm tree here. So highly recommend check this out. If you don't have access to it yet, this is something that is pretty brand new. So hopefully you guys will have access to it. It looks like someone said, I only get your designs have been copied. Does that resonate that I'm doing something wrong? Doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something wrong. You just might not have access to it yet. But what I would recommend is what I just said is click on the thing that makes sense. Let's get this out of here. Well, it's kind of comparable now. It's more like watercolory, whatever. But just make sure that you're clicking on this one. You're clicking copy art style because this is what you're seeing above. I know you mentioned that you said that. And then just select something that you want it to apply to. And theoretically speaking, it should work. If it doesn't, it might just be that you don't have access to this yet. It might be that you're not a pro subscription member, or it might be a fluke. So feel free to obviously just ask Canva what's going on with that. Beautiful. I like the lighter version too. Me too. The little palm tree was like kind of, I didn't like it. It was a little aggressive in style and color before, but when I made it a little bit lighter, I was like, oh yeah, that kind of checks out. Anyways, hope all of that makes sense. This is one of my favorite freaking things that I've done so far. Absolutely love it. We actually made the bread a little better from this because I just added it to that. So anyways, that is one of my favorite things to do. The next thing, we're going to be kind of getting into AI a lot over the next few slides because we just showed obviously the AI copy style. But now what we're going to do is show how to generate things from scratch utilizing AI. So the AI templates situation is, let me go back over here real fast. Hold on one second. So kind of like I mentioned a second ago. So when I'm over here on the home page of Canva, then I have the ability to type in, click templates and type in what I'm looking for. However, now I also have the ability to build from scratch. So of course, if we wanted to type in shirt, and it would give us all of these different random things. But we could also come over here and click create a blank t-shirt. And it's going to just basically give us the right sizing parameters, theoretically speaking, by what could be maybe added to Printify or something of the sort, right? So then what we can do is come over here to design. And again, you're going to see templates right here, recently used brand templates, and then all of the results from other Canva designers. But let's say you wanted to build something from scratch that is related to either your brand, relates to your aesthetic, whatever it is, you have now the ability to do so. So kind of of a bad example of what I did, to be honest, but I just wanted to show you how you can. So in the templates section, which I'm going to show you in a second, you can put in the information that you need up here for what you want that template to look like. And then you can go ahead and click generate design. It's going to build it for you. And then you'll see here that I basically asked it, because my colors for my brand are hot pink and teal blue. So I was asking for a carousel for Instagram template. However, I forgot that I was in a presentation style on Canva. So it's like giving me a presentation, which is totally fine. But if you went into the Instagram sized, 4x5 or 4x3, it'll make that exact size that you need. So with that said, let's build it in the t-shirt place together. So you can see describe your ideal design here, or of course you can choose all of these. So let's say we're going to just stick with coquette because it's easy. So a coquette design with the words coffee first. The design should be predominantly, y'all have to wait with me while I figure out my prompt, predominantly pink hues and girly fonts. There should be a coffee mug with steam holding a latte. And then let's say the graphics should be watercolor style. I'm like, what should I want to put here? All right. So under the templates, we can click generate design. Now, to be quite frank, I'm doing this from scratch, so I have no idea if this is going to turn out the way that I want, but we're going to watch it together and see what happens. And the reason I came up with this that I thought could be beneficial for you guys is if we were to type in just coquette, for example, and just coffee or whatever, we're going to see a couple of different things. So like, here's one that's the coquette bows. Here's like a coffee and a cat, I guess. Here's another one. This actually is kind of cute. Life is better with coffee, that you could make both of these be somewhat related to your design style. But if those aren't working for you 100%, then maybe we can build our own. This is horrible. So I don't like this at all, but let's say that we did. And obviously I would have to reprompt and figure out kind of what's going on here. Let's see about styles too. No, it's fine. So what we could do here, where I think I might potentially be interested in working with it, is if we remove the background from this. So let's just get rid of all of these things. And we did the background remover. It's probably going to give us this like little paint. It didn't, but let's just say it gave us the paint right here, like this in the background with the smoke and the coffee. So I kind of like that aesthetic. But again, when I remove it, it goes away. So again, this is AI. So it is currently learning. I think it said a second ago that was probably just like, sorry if this isn't what you wanted. This is still being currently built. But if you can do a really good prompt, and if you can make it as simplistic as possible, usually these designs turn out, or these templates, excuse me, turn out to be what you want. In this particular case, I'm very dissatisfied with this, but I think that my prompt might have been a little bit too deep. Maybe Canva doesn't even know what coquette is, for example. So just something to think about, of like putting in the prompt appropriately is going to be the way that you can absolutely make these things work for you. But that is how you can do the template itself, which would be all of the different elements built for you, rather than having to either take a template and redo it or pull all these different things in to build it. Okay. So that's number one. Number two for today is generating AI images. Now, this one's really fun. And I actually just chose this prompt for this particular one because I saw this on Pinterest the other day and I thought it was really cute, of this woman holding a skincare bottle with these like bright, beautiful colors. So that's where this kind of came from for my prompt. So it's going to be the exact same process we did a second ago, but instead of clicking design, we're going to click elements. And we're going to get out of here. And then we're going to go to generate images, and you're going to see generate code, video, graphics, and shapes. In this case, I am going to keep it at images, and you can put in like whatever you want here. So let's say, hold on one second. I know. Here I go again. I'm just going to do the exact same thing so it's easier. So African American woman, oh, spelled wrong, with long hair in ponytail, wearing, let's take it a little bit different this time. So wearing Black t-shirt on a beach, something like that. Let's go ahead and click generate images, and it's going to give us 4. I'm not sure if there is a way to change. I don't think that there is any photo or the amount of photos that they give you. But just kind of show you, it's going to give you 4 different ones that you can choose from. And then you also have the ability to regenerate, all images as well. So, oh my God, I actually love these. Wow. Okay. So this right here, guys, like that's a beautiful ass mock-up. That is a really, really good one. And this is a good one as well because there is the ability to actually build out 3D images, which we're going to talk about today, which would allow us to kind of like turn our design onto her shirt. But this one facing forward is even better because her hair isn't blocking a lot of the place where the design would go comparatively to this one, where we more than likely want to pop the design right here so that photo is a little bit in the way. But we also could click regenerate on this one and then say put the hair behind her shoulder. Let's just see if that happens. Oh, it doesn't. Shoot, hold on. But it's just going to redo the whole thing. Anyways, but I think I really do like this one. And yeah, we know it's AI and we can zoom in a little bit and see that there are a little bit of like cartoonish kind of features that you would see in AI. But by oh man, these are so good. By regenerating them again, these are all like really freaking good mock-ups. If this is your aesthetic, if this is your style, and you can straight up very easily pop your design right there on her chest. So wanted to show you that that is something that is new in Canva, which is allowing me to be able to create designs for mock-ups for my people. Janae just said she's so excited to show her husband why she needs Pro tonight because I believe this is the Magic Media. All of them, I believe, are Pro. Catherine also brought up using ChatGPT for prompts. I think that could work, but for these kinds of things, we really need it to be, like I said, as simplistic and concise and to the point as possible. Sometimes ChatGPT likes to go off the rails and give me this whole spiel about what this girl should look like. So we really want to just keep it as simple as possible. So as long as you put that in his original prompt, so like you give that to Charles being like, this is what I need is simplistic and concise, then theoretically speaking, yes, you should be able to get the right prompt to then pop in here. The next thing I want to show you guys though is the ability then to do the exact same thing with AI videos. So come back over here and we can go ahead and click X on the photos. Under generate images right here to the left, we're just going to pop that down like I did a second ago. And you'll see generate video does have the crown. So this is definitely going to be something that only pro people can have. So I'm going to say instead of wearing black t-shirt on a beach, I'm going to say walking down the beach. Okay. And then we're going to make sure that we come down to video and then it's going to think, and it's going to take a little bit more time for this one. But what's also kind of cool about this is anything that you put up here in the prompting section also comes down here for your search results. Now, can we apply mock-ups to these videos? No, because they're moving and that would be very difficult. But can we use some of these videos to maybe make some reels on Instagram if this is your target audience? Abso-freaking-lutely. So I wanted to also show you guys that not only are you going to be generating your things from scratch right here, but you also can look at the additional search results that they gave you. So here's a quick example of what my video kind of turned out. Again, it was very boring. I just copy and pasted the exact same thing that I had with the image earlier. But they're going to give you a 3 to 5 second video, and you can do a couple things to it, like increase the speed, decrease the speed. Maybe it goes faster, maybe it goes slower. Maybe you want to animate it to do something. There you go. It all comes up like that. In this case, obviously we won't want to, but that is what is going to happen after it's done thinking. It's going to build out a 3 to 5 second video for you. So our video is ready now. Let's pull it over and see what happens. I gotta back up a little bit. I guess I could just press play over here. There you go. Oh, this is cute. Nice. This is really, really good. I love this. It came in for some reason in a 1x1. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can edit that. Resizer. Okay, so Video Resizer is an app that we could use, or Reverser, sorry. It's an app that we could use to potentially make this 9 by 16 or 16 by 9, so horizontal or vertical positioning. But this is just something that, I wanted to show you guys was an option. And I also wanted to let you know that we had Kittle, Drew from Kittle, the production manager for them, on our page in the live stream a couple weeks ago. And he also mentioned that Kittle is in the process of doing videos that you can actually apply your design to for mock-up videos that you could add to your Etsy listings, you can add to your website, you can add to your Instagram, TikTok, whatever. So this is kind of in the early stages of that on Canva. They really just kind of dropped this recently, and there's really not a good way to make absolutely certain that your exact design is on this model. It is a good way to generate videos, however. So if you want to try this out for other reasons outside of mockups, by all means, wanted to let you guys know this exists. However, if you want to do the other direction by actually applying your designs to it, I would check out Kittle, because they said that their video system was going to be starting to be launched on February 4th. So wanted to let you guys know that that should be live now, at least in the early stages. All right, last but not least, as it relates to, oh no, there's two more, just kidding. But as it relates to generating AI elements, this is something that I have found, especially recently, when I don't want to just use the elements that Canva gives me, like what can I do to build something very unique from scratch, is you can actually generate shapes from Canva now as well. So let's go ahead and get out of here. And let's go, let's just type in, actually palm tree is a good idea, palm tree. And we want to go to, I don't think they even have any. There's a good example. So there's no shapes in palm tree. So let's say if we come down here, we go to browse categories, type in palm tree, because I just did a second ago, you'll see that there are no palm tree shapes that are available. There are only palm tree videos, graphics, elements, photos, etc., but there's no actual shapes that are involved. So if you needed a shape that was not the actual photo itself, we could go here and either click generate shapes here, or we can come back and do exactly what we just did a second ago. And instead of clicking go, we're going to come back down here where we were and go down to generate shapes. And now it's going to do the exact same thing. So you'll see I chose blob for my example when I was building this training yesterday. And then you can go ahead and click blob, and they're like, oh, there's nothing here. You can click generate shapes, and it's going to think about it, and it's going to give you those. As you can see, I just got 4 completely unique palm tree shapes in a matter of seconds. My personal preference is going to be this one and this one. I really like those two. And the best part about generating your own shapes is the ability to then come up here and change the color to anything you want in a matter of seconds. So that is an option that you can use, and also being able to adjust the opacity on it and the transparency to whatever you need for your particular design. So again, this is something that can be beneficial for print on demand sellers, digital sellers, or anyone who's like making a logo and they need something like that in the background, and they don't want it to be too big, but they also don't want it to be something like this that's just like a generic thing. Then you are able to generate your own shapes completely from scratch now. Okay. Last up in the generating space in AI is the 3D images. This is something I mentioned to you a second ago when we were talking about potentially taking your design and putting it onto a mock-up. So generating 3D images is going to be in the Magic Media space. So I'll show you how to get there in just a second. But what we're going to do is go into Magic Media and then type in what we want into the images, kind of what we want to create here, and you'll see here. And then instead of images, graphics, or videos, they now have the option for 3D, which allows you to then have something that looks like it's like a product almost of sorts. So this is something that is going to significantly help you guys with print on demand soon, because this is something that is going to be completely unique compared to everybody else that is utilizing 2D images. So if I were to come back over here real fast, I'm going to share this tab again. Let's say shirt 3D. Yeah, okay, so stuff like this is doing really, really well. Stuff like this, like these fun, like bubble, blobby kind of fonts are doing really well on Etsy right now. Here's another example. I'm trying to see if there's another one I could show you guys off the bat. Again, these templates things don't work for me very well on Canva sometimes when I'm looking for something very specific, but this is actually a really good example right here. This is a 3D element on a logo that someone, aka you, could create for a client. So just kind of showing you what I mean by like the 3D-esque kind of idea and how we're going to build it together today. So what we're going to do is go to Magic Media, which I have it on the left-hand side over here. I do believe you need Pro for this, so please keep that in mind. But we're going to go to Magic Media. I also think you can come to the home page and just type in Magic Media. Let me see what happens if I just do it here. It doesn't work that way, which is fine. But if you go to the apps section, where are my apps at? There we go. So if you go to apps, type in Magic Media. It is also going to take you exactly where we're going to go. And I also highly recommend, guys, just to look through all of the different freaking apps that Canva has access to. These are where I'm finding a lot of these things. And there's so many more to go through. So if you're ever like, my Canva stuff is getting really boring, or how do I set myself apart on a platform like this? Just go through their apps library, because you can more than likely find things that are going to, again, amplify your design, scale your time with designs, or make really, really unique stuff. So anyways, it's going to be over here on the left-hand side for me, Magic Media, or right here under apps. And then we're going to enter 5+ words to describe what we want. So in this case, as you can see, I wrote black and white checkered check mark, and then it turned out really weird. So let's say pink coffee mug with steam cloud coming out of it. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. And then you can choose the different styles you want. So do you want it to be vibrant, filmic, high flash, blah, blah, blah? Is it digital art? So it should kind of look maybe a little bit more anime, a little bit more dreamy. You can choose all of these. For today, I'm going to go vibrant since I did say pink. And then we're going to go ahead and go to 3D. Oh, shoot. Let me copy this over. Sorry. Then we're going to go to 3D. I just realized that I was on images. So you can't choose the style. My apologies. So we're going to pop that in, and you'll see this is experimental. So some objects might not look right, but stick with me because I'm going to show you why the 3D thing is so cool. So we're going to click generate 3D, and it's going to be pink coffee mug with steam cloud coming out of it. Hope to God this works. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't tried this little prompt yet. But once we get it, what's really stinking cool about 3D is you have the ability to move it around however you want. So instead of it just being a 3D looking image of a check mark or a 3D looking image of a coffee cup, we are actually going to be able to click on the image and literally move it any direction that we want to best fit the design. So I'm sure you guys, that's so funny. So it literally is a cloud. He didn't really understand, and that's fine, but we're going to click on it. I'm going to show you what I mean. Hello, there we go. All right, so now we have our little 3D coffee mug with our little steam cloud on top. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it to show how cool it is. So on a 3D image, you're going to have this little guy right here, and you'll see that a hand kind of pops up. So what we're going to do is click on that, and then we're going to move things around however we want. So let me actually, I'm going to make another page and show you so you're not distracted with the other stuff. So now we can do this. Literally any direction we want. So again, this freaking cloud is weird. So it's kind of not really helping me all that much. But let's say we wanted something that kind of looked like this, and you've probably seen a lot of designs like on Kittle or on t-shirts in big brand stores, and you're wondering how in God's green earth did they make it like on its side? How is it floating like that? And now Canva offers the 3D image generator in order to do so. So this is going to be a really, really cool thing for all different types of sellers, but especially obviously my POD sellers. So let's say next we wanted to do a light blue bow in, I'm not even going to say coquette because it's not really working, in girly style. And let's click generate again. I'm going to show you again what we can do here. So this is like one of my favorite new features I think I've ever seen. Like, look how cool this is. We're upside down. We're sideways. We're looking on top of the actual thing itself. It looks a little weird because it is an AI generated image in some places, but that right there could be really, really cool on a design. So if we pop this as like the photo in the middle and then we had like text up here, it's just going to make you look so much more unique than everybody else and their mother that's going to simply have, let's see, this baby, because they didn't watch this training and they have no idea how to build it, right? Here's another one. I think this is kind of interesting. I actually really freaking love the back of this bow. Let's say this is actually a really good example. So what if we loved the back of this bow that they made, or the front, but then the back looked kind of dumb? Then we can easily go exactly where we want it. And let's say I want to make it a little bit sideways, kind of like what we had before. And we can do something like that. So it's just really, really fun to play with. And again, it's just that added layer of potential uniqueness that you can add. Someone also said, can you use this feature for like a mug mock-up video? Unfortunately, I don't think so, because what we're building is faux AI graphics. So I wouldn't want us to, like, you can see my freaking mug. It's not great. It's very like generated. It doesn't look like a real mug. So I wouldn't say I want to use them for mock-up videos per se, but I do love the idea of Weight and Bullet says, can we put our logo on it? Absolutely. If you're using these for internal marketing purposes, absolutely, I think it's a great idea. The second way I would use this is to make those kind of 3D designs that you might see on Pinterest, or you saw some templates on Canva, or obviously Etsy. So let's say the letter P or C, because we're in Coquette. Let's say the letter C as a blue balloon style. Or let's put NA. Let's see what comes up, because I'm thinking like something like this could be pretty interesting if we could write out something, or if we can, instead of just saying the letter C, we could write out Coquette in blue balloon style and then just make it kind of go up and down, side to side. Like that could be something very interesting. So let's delete this mug for a second. Sorry, I'm having way too much fun playing with this, guys. I really enjoy this 3D feature. That's why I kind of saved it for last. I know we're a little bit over time. I went a little bit too crazy today with my fun stuff, but hopefully you guys are still enjoying this. If you did enjoy this, please make sure to like the actual live training itself. It really helps us kind of, I love it. I get distracted very easily. It really helps this channel get pushed to the right people who are potentially looking to grow on Canva, on EverBee Store, on Etsy, whatever. So please make sure you do that for me if you have enjoyed this or gained something from it. Dude, I'm obsessed. This is so cool. So again, let's say I wrote out the word coquette, or I wrote out the word boy mom or something like that. And everyone else is going to have your standard C that is made as a font, not you guys anymore. You're going to have a 3D C image that can be literally maneuvered any direction you want in just a couple of clicks. So I hope that was beneficial, guys. This is one of my favorite things that I have personally found on Canva, and it's something that I use in my own business and marketing every day. Janae just said, my husband will never see me again, so going to have fun with this. I love that. Someone else said another game changer. So I'm so glad that you guys gained value from this, and there were a couple things that maybe you guys might not have seen. If you have seen all of them, that means that you're in Canva as much as I am, and you're really searching and you're really going deep into all the features they have. So I hope I did not bore you if you did know all of those, but I hope that I gave you guys some insight into other ways maybe that you could use each of these individual tools. With that said, guys, I'm excited to kick off our 5 or 6, haven't decided yet, part series for print on demand sellers, kicking off next Tuesday. So I'm going to try to get you guys out of here as soon as I can, but please do check that out next Tuesday, carrying us through the next month or so. And again, if you wanted to see that trend in this, I almost said trend in the series again, Trends in the Wild series part 6 that just went live on our channel on Tuesday as well. So with that said, I will see you guys next Thursday, and have a great rest of your week, your weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic Valentine's Day with either your significant other, your friends, your family. Maybe you're single and you're celebrating Singles Awareness Day like I did for a really long time before I met my husband. Enjoy it. It is your time. Self-care. Hope you guys have a great time. And I also hope you get incredible Valentine's Day sales this weekend. I am hoping for some cha-chings for each of you, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.